Well, hi there. We are now going to make corrections to the work that you already did on pages 156 and 157 in your grammar book, Grammar and Composition 2. Page 156 was all about explaining how to use the who, whoever, or whom, or whomever correctly. And then 157 was the exercises that you did. So we're going to go through them one at a time. We're going to do them together. All right. So we already did exercises 1 and 2 in the previous video. So now we're going to do the rest. We'll go kind of quickly. If you remember, we're supposed to put brackets around either the dependent clause or the interrogative sentence. Then we're supposed to determine how the pronoun functions in the clause and write its function in the blank. And then we cross out the incorrect pronoun. Okay, well, this is not number 3. This is not a question. So we're looking for the clause whoever or whomever is in. Well, I know it starts there. Whoever runs fastest, that is our clause. That whole clause is being used as the subject of the sentence. In the context of the sentence, that clause is the subject, because will win is the verb. Win is an action verb, so trophy is the direct object. And at field day is a prepositional phrase. But we don't have to do that for this exercise. For this exercise, once we determine the clause that the whomever or whoever is in, we have to determine how it's being used and then figure out the right one, which one is correct, which one is incorrect. Well, what is the verb of this sentence? Runs. Okay. What runs? Whoever or whomever. So that means that must be the subject. So we know this is going to be the subject somehow, right? So which one of these are allowed to be subjects? Well, nominative case pronouns can be subjects, right? And they can be predicate nominatives. Whoever is the nominative case, whomever is the objective case. So I need to cross out whomever because whoever is the nominative case and that's the correct one. All right, let's do the next one. Champlain and Descartes were two of the French explorers who or whom discovered the Great Lakes in the 17th century. So that's not a question, so it must be in a dependent clause. I believe that's our clause. Who or whom discovered the Great Lakes in the 17th century. In the context of the whole sentence, that clause is being used as an appositive, right? Because you look, Champlain, Champlain and Le Caron, are compound subjects. Were is the verb, and then to is the predicate nominative. Of the French explorers is a prepositional phrase, and then this is the object of the preposition explorers is, and then this whole clause is in a positive explaining who the explorers are. Which explorers? The ones who discovered the Great Lakes in the 17th century. Okay, well, at any rate, inside the clause here, we've got to determine who or whom is being used. So what's the verb of the clause? Discovered, yes. And then that's an action verb, so the Great Lakes would be a direct object. In the 17th century is a prepositional phrase. So that means that this must be the subject. So I'm going to put subject there. And then subjects have to be nominative case. And we know from the prior one that that's true. Nominative case would be who and whoever. So we're going to cross out whom. That's it. Winston Churchill was the man who or whom was the British Prime Minister for much of World War II. Well, let's just find the dependent clause now. Winston Churchill was the man. That's the independent clause. And then that is a I guess that's an adjective clause because it's describing the man. And okay, so what's the verb of the clause? Was. And then the noun that follows that linking verb is British Prime Minister. So that's going to be your predicate nominative. That means that this is going to have to be the subject. So we'll put subject here. Subjects have to be nominative case. And from the very one right before it, we knew it was who. So we're crossing out whom. All right, next. From whom did the United States receive the Statue of Liberty? That's a question. So we put the whole thing in brackets. What's the verb? Did receive. Remember how strange those questions can be. The verb sometimes is split with words in between. Who received? Well, what was received? The Statue of Liberty was what was received. So that, and since receive is an action verb, that would be a direct object. The United States then would be the subject. Well, that completely removes who and whom from all of those things. But the word from is a prepositional phrase. So this must be an object of preposition. And it is. Objects of prepositions are objective case. Whom and whomever are objective case. Whom is the appropriate word, so we cross out who, because it's an object of preposition. Many of the passengers who or whom were traveling on the Titanic did not realize the severity of the collision. This is not a question, so we have a dependent clause. Who were traveling on the Titanic? All right. In that clause, were traveling is the verb. On the Titanic is a prepositional phrase. That must mean that who or whom is the subject. Since subjects have to be nominative case, who or whoever is the appropriate word, so we're going to cross out whom. Liesel, who or whom was born in Austria, that's our clause, has a beautiful accent when he speaks. In this clause, our verb is was born. In Austria is a prepositional phrase. So that means that this is the subject. I forgot to put, let's see, what was this? To whom? That's an object of preposition. Sorry about that. We did determine that though. So this is a subject. Subjects have to be nominative case. We cross out whom because nominative case is who. Nominative case, who. Okay. Garrett is the one who or whom returned the book to the library. All right, so the clause is who or whom returned the book to the library. Inside the clause, in the context of the clause, the verb is returned. That's an action verb. Book is the direct object. The library is a prepositional phrase. So that means that this must be the subject. And subjects are nominative case. That's who is a nominative case pronoun. That's the correct answer. The recipient of the award will be who or whoever wins the contest. That's a statement. So let's see. The clause would be who or whoever wins the contest. Okay. Now this one's interesting because both of those, who and whoever, are nominative case. So we just got to figure out which is the correct answer because we know that both of our options are nominative case. Okay. Well, what is this? What is the verb? Wins. Wins is a action verb. Contest is direct object. Okay. So we know that the subject is what that is. Who or whoever, it's not whoever. All right, this is difficult to explain. If you're speaking about a specific singular person that will win an award, the recipient of the award, assuming there will be only one recipient, then you would use the word who. But you would use whoever if multiple people could qualify. So the recipient of the award will be who wins the contest is correct. Let's see, but perhaps if you're talking about graduating, many people will graduate. You might say the list of graduates will be whomever completes the required classes. Okay? Whoever completes, it's still nominative case, but we're not talking about only one. We're talking about anyone in that larger list of people that are in the senior class, okay? But only the ones who complete the required classes are going to they're going to be able to graduate. Therefore, we're talking about more than one. Anybody who qualifies, whoever. So that's why who is the correct word in this case. All right. Took me a second. I had to look that one up real quick to make sure I could explain it well. And then the last one in this exercise, the young man to whom Mary gave the Bible is sitting in the front row. Well, that's our clause. Mary's the subject, gave is the verb, Bible is the direct object of the clause. So that means that this is a prepositional phrase. That's a preposition. This is the object of the preposition. Objects of prepositions have to be objective case, right? Whom, whomever is objective case. So cross out who. Exercise B, we've already done the first one. We're supposed to cross out each incorrect pronoun and write the correct form above it, and then put C for each correct sentence. All right, so let's look at number 2. He whom cannot win new friends has lost the art to live. Well, first we have to determine how it's being used in the sentence. So the clause is he whom cannot win new friends, because that's who's lost the art to live, right? In this context of the whole sentence, that's the subject, and the verb is has lost, and then the direct object is art. That's in the whole sentence. But in the clause, the verb is can win. We can't include not in that because not is an adverb. So can win, and then win is action, so therefore friends is direct object. That means that, let's see. It's actually, that would be the clause, whom cannot win. So anyway, this is the subject. So whom is an objective case pronoun. That's objective case. So we need it to be nominative, so we have to change it to who. So let's cross out whom and put who. The only thing you have to cross out whom and put who there. But we want to talk about why things are the way they are. The next one, number 3. Often, he whom works hardest accomplishes the most. So the clause, he whom works hardest, well, it already feels wrong. I'm sorry. Often he, I did it again. Who works hardest? Works is the verb. That's the subject. So again, it has to be nominative case. So we do that. All right, next one. I'll try not to mark all over this one. It may be easier for you to understand and read. Absence from whom we love is worse than death. Well, I can already tell you that this one's got to be correct because from whom is a prepositional phrase. Whom is objective case. In the prepositional phrase, whom is the object of the preposition, and OPs are objective case. Whom is, so that's correct. Okay, that is our prepositional phrase. That's the object of the preposition. So just put C out beside it. The next one, I was obliged to be industrious, period. Whoever is equally industrious will succeed equally well. Well, that's a sentence by itself, right? So we can just ignore that completely. The verb is, so that means this must be the subject, yeah? And whoever is, nominative case, whoever, subject, that's correct the way it is. He whom conquers his own laziness will be victorious. Well, who conquers his own laziness is the clause. He will be victorious is the sentence, right? So inside this clause, verb is conquers. Laziness is the direct object. Whom is the subject. But whom can't be a subject because only nominative case pronouns can be subjects, and who is the nominative case form. So we got to cross it out and put who. Many Dutch who came to America settled in New York. All right. Who came to America is the clause. I said I wasn't going to mark it up. It's so hard not to, because that's how we figure things out. But I'll only mark that. Whom came to America. Came is the verb. To America is a prepositional phrase. That means whom is the subject. We know that whom can't be the subject because who is the nominative case. So there we go. And then this one is a question, so we would have put the whole thing in parentheses. The verb is are hoping. You is the subject. That means, guys, I'm just going to mark this one up. I have to. That's the subject. Are hoping is the verb. To meet is the prepositional phrase. And who, if this was a statement, would be way over here. We would say, you are hoping to meet who? Who is a pronoun that stands in for, I don't know, a superstar. I don't know. Let's see. You are hoping, I didn't write that very well, to meet, who would it be? Iron Man. All right. You are hoping to meet Iron Man. Well, we're using a pronoun to take that place. Who is the pronoun? Who is a pronoun that is taking the place of the direct object. Direct objects have to be objective case. So we need whom or whomever. So we're going to cross out who and put whom. You are hoping to meet whom? Whom are you hoping to meet? All right. Make sure you get those corrections made. That's all of that exercise. Make those corrections, upload them on the assignment so that you get credit for having watched this video. And also, in order to get credit for watching the whole video, don't tell your friends about this. I want you to write the word Iron Man on your page somewhere where I can read it. And that will prove to me that you watched to the end, okay? I might do that every once in a while. So put Iron Man on your paper, turn it in, and then I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Have a good one.